Afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Senate Higher Education Committee. We've got a full agenda of testifiers today, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Mr. Soul, I'm sorry if I'm saying your last name incorrectly, wants to make your way up. Oh, we're already good. But before we begin, or before I turn it over to you, I just want to acknowledge, like many of you, I happen to be watching the news today, and the popular word being used is the word freeze. I don't know what exactly that means or entails for everybody in regards to federal funding. I think we're all learning more. I would encourage everybody to continue to do some outreach. Let's educate ourselves as to what some of that news might actually mean. And my hope is we don't get distracted by that today. Let's focus on what we came here to talk about originally, and we'll get more information as it surfaces. And I'm confident that hopefully, if anybody is overly alarmed, that they'll find themselves much more comfortable with more information. So with that being said, I'll turn it over to you, sir.
Okay. Thank you so much, Senator Duckworth, Chair Duckworth, and Chair Fate, and members of the Higher Education Committee for the opportunity to present on behalf of Minnesota State colleges and universities. We are very excited to be here today. My name is George Soul, and I have the privilege to serve as Chair of the Board of Trustees of Minnesota State. I'm a lawyer and a tribal judge. I live in Minneapolis, but I grew up in Becker County, and I'm a proud graduate of Minnesota State University Moorhead and a first-generation college student. I'm joined today by several members of the Board of Trustees. Could stand just briefly. Trustees? The whole crew. We do, and we have also several of the Chancellor's cabinet members here from the system office, and several college and university presidents here to prop me up and the Chancellor. And they work extremely hard for the students of Minnesota State. We are volunteers. The trustees are volunteers who are committed to the success of Minnesota State, our students, and the communities that we serve. Our system of 26 community and technical colleges all across the state and 7 universities is governed by a 15-member Board of Trustees appointed by the governor and confirmed by the Senate. 8 trustees are from each congressional district. There are 4 at-large seats, and there are 3 student trustees, one of whom is here, Chris Richter, who's attending Minnesota State University, Mankato. The Board of Trustees has policy responsibility for system planning, academic programs, fiscal management, personnel, admissions requirements, rules and regulations, and setting tuition and fees. We leave operation of Minnesota State to Chancellor Olson, his cabinet, and the system staff, and to the colleges and the universities. We are partners with you, legislature, students, faculty and staff, and communities across the state. I'm constantly amazed when I think about this statistic, the first number on this slide. Minnesota State's colleges and universities educate 270,000 students per year, both credit and non-credit, each year across the state. 69% of those students attend colleges and universities outside the Twin Cities. More than 63,000 are students of color and indigenous students, more than all of the other higher education institutions in the state of Minnesota combined. More than 58,000 are 25 years or older. More than 53,000 are low-income Pell-eligible students. More than 38,000 are the first in their family to attend college. And 6,500 are veterans and service members. Our colleges and universities serve students no matter where they are on their educational journey, from a certificate all the way to an applied doctoral program. High school students or recent grads, students returning to complete a degree or start another, and adults already in the workforce who need or want additional education or training. We offer more than 4,000 academic programs, and students can take many of those programs online. As you know, a big part of our mission is workforce development. We form partnerships with employers across the state to ensure graduates entering the workforce are ready to contribute the first day on the job. We offer approximately 9,600 customized training, specialty, and professional classes. This is a fluid process as our campuses strive to meet employers' needs. This slide represents the impact of our colleges and universities in terms of workforce development. We educate 34,000 graduates each year. I like to say that our colleges and universities provide education and training to the people who get the work done in Minnesota. You can see the numbers. We educate 90% of the peace officers in Minnesota, 90% of graduate mechanics, 60% of nurses, and more. 86% of the grads find jobs in their field or a related field of study. Minnesota State is an economic imperative for the state of Minnesota. We have heard a clear message from employers and community leaders from across the state that they need more graduates with the skill set to move our economy forward. We understand the importance of this issue. The board, the chancellor, and campus leaders are focused on this workforce development issue. So, Mr. Chairs, with your permission, I'd like to turn the presentation over to Chancellor Olson.
Chair Duckworth, Co-Chair Fateh. I'm Scott Olson. I'm the Chancellor of the Minnesota State College and University System, and we thank you for this invitation to talk about what we do for our students, for our employers, for our communities here in Minnesota. I'm grateful for the work of this board that you've just met. They are really remarkable, all volunteers, helping guide us as we serve Minnesota in the best way possible. So I'd like to provide you with a little bit of an outline of what we're going to do this afternoon. With us today is the board's Audit Committee Chair, Trustee Dawn Erlinson, and Chief Audit Officer Amy Jorgensen, and they will speak about the board's audit process. And then we will have our Finance and Facilities Chair from the board, Tim Hipsch, and Vice Chancellor of Facilities and Finance, Bill Mackey, who will speak about financial oversight of the system. And all 30 of the college and university presidents, along with the cabinet of the chancellor, make up what we call the Leadership Council. The Leadership Council is sort of that leadership group, executive leadership group. 4 of those presidents are here with us today also to speak. They are elected from their peers to lead their respective sectors, the 2-year sector or the 4-year sector. And that's President Mike Seymour from Alexandria Technical and Community College, Michael Ryach from Minnesota North, Tim Downs from Minnesota State University Moorhead, and John Hoffman from Bemidji State University and Northwest Tech. We also have with us today a college with a very special mission, a tribal college that's actually a part of our system, Tribal and Community College, led by President Anita Hansen, and she will also be speaking to you a little later in the meeting. Chairs, we have many presidents with us today, some of whom aren't speaking, so I would like to ask the presidents who are with us today from Minnesota State to stand and be recognized. These are our presidents. Thank you. Many of you probably, I know who can recognize somebody from your district in the crowd here today. And that's because we are throughout Minnesota. We are everywhere serving all the communities of Minnesota. In the system office, we're able to manage services for more cost efficiencies across the campuses. Some of these services include information technology, legal services, and financial oversight. These are things that are more easily done at the system level than at the campus level. So that's a big part of the role that the system office plays. Along with meetings with our student groups and bargaining units that happen on a regular basis, I personally meet with all of our statewide student organizations and collective bargaining units to work on pressing issues that face them throughout the year. And we have 3 of our collective bargaining unit leaders here with us today, Nicole Emerson from MAPE and Jennifer Irwin from AFSCME and Kevin Lindstrom from MSCF. Would you stand and be recognized? These are our labor leaders. And our Board of Trustees also has the opportunity to hear from all of our stakeholders, including students and the bargaining units at every one of the board meetings that they conduct. With your permission now, Chair Duckworth, I'd like to turn the presentation over to Trustee Don Erlinson, who is Vice Chair of the Board of Trustees and Audit Committee Chair, and also Amy Jorgensen, who's our Chief Audit Officer, to talk about our internal auditing process.
That sounds good. And just to confirm, have you introduced all of the backup you brought with you today at this point?
Well,
I feel significantly ill-prepared and outnumbered, I'm just saying.
there may be some outliers, I don't know. Thank you so much.
Welcome. Please go ahead and introduce yourselves, and then you can begin whenever you're ready. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm Dawn Erlinson, as the Chancellor mentioned, and just a little bit of background. I, too, am a first-generation college student raised by a single mom, so I have a lot of empathy for a lot of our students. I grew up in Casson, Minnesota, which is in southeastern Minnesota near Rochester, and my bipartisan credentials are that I'm married to the former chair of the Minnesota DFL party, and my first professional experience was working for my cousin, former Speaker Steve Swigum. And with that, I'm going to share with you the value and the importance of the audit function to Minnesota State. The board has maintained an audit committee since 1998, and the Office of Internal Auditing has had 5 leaders, 4 of whom previously worked in the Office of Legislative Auditor, including our current Chief Audit Officer, Amy Jorgensen. From the beginning, we have carefully structured a reporting relationship and clear policies to ensure independence and objectivity. This structure is required by the global international audit standards published by the Institute of Internal Auditors. The Chief Audit Officer reports directly to the Chair of the Audit Committee and has direct access to all board members. The Chief Audit Officer also has an administrative reporting relationship with the Chancellor and meets with him regularly. And this is important because we want to make sure everything that we do is spending the money of our students and the state and any donors as wisely and as efficiently and effectively as possible. By policy, the Office of Internal Auditing has full, free, and unrestricted access to all Minnesota State functions, records, property, and personnel pertaining to carrying out any engagement, and that is in compliance, obviously, with all laws, including the Minnesota Data Practices Act. The office allocates resources, sets frequencies, selects subjects, determines scopes of work, and applies techniques required to accomplish engagement objectives and issues reports. The Audit Committee of the Board approves an annual audit plan and any amendments to that plan. The office obtains assistance from the necessary personnel at Minnesota State, as well as other specialized services within or outside of Minnesota State to complete our engagements. Amy will discuss how we utilize outside firms to accomplish some of our work. And finally, the Audit Committee Chair, that would be me right now, makes personnel decisions regarding the Chief Audit Officer, including hiring and completing annual performance reviews. This ensures the Chief Audit Officer can maintain the critical independence and objectivity needed to accurately assess and report issues without fear of reprisal. And I should end and add that I was an economics major, and my first job was at Deloitte in Washington, D.C., and I did take accounting, but I cannot keep up with Amy.
Good afternoon, Chair Duckworth, members of the committee. My name is Amy Jorgensen, and I'm honored to have served as Chief Audit Officer for Minnesota State since June 2022. I'm a proud graduate of Minnesota State Mankato. As Trustee Erlinson mentioned, Minnesota State utilizes professional firms with outstanding national reputations to carry out some of our work. The CPA firm Clifton Larson Allen, or CLA, has completed our financial statement and single audit work for several years. We are pleased to have received clean financial statement audit reports for the last 5 years and well beyond. And our single audits over our federal programs have also been very good, with only one material weakness reported in the last 5 years, which was corrected within a year. The Office of Internal Auditing uses a co-sourced model to carry out much of our internal audit work. We've worked with the firm Baker Tilly Risk Advisory for several years now. They are a known leader in the higher education sector, and with their 6,500 employees, our office can access subject matter expertise in practically any topic area. This is important as the landscape of higher education evolves and grows increasingly complex. Audits and advisory projects regularly require skills in cybersecurity, enterprise risk management, academic programming, personnel and payroll, and other areas common to higher education. The co-source model has allowed Minnesota State's Office of Internal Auditing to provide a wide range of audit and advisory reports over the last several years. A few examples are regular independent project risk reviews as Minnesota State moves from its legacy ISRS system to Workday, continuous improvement audits and recommendations for Minnesota State's cybersecurity posture, benchmarking Minnesota State's policies and procedures against other higher education systems. In addition, our office conducts investigations when allegations of theft, waste, or abuse come to light. We report the results of these investigations to the Office of the Legislative Auditor, and they also refer allegations to us to investigate. Often, these investigations will reveal internal control weaknesses within our system for which we make recommendations for improvement. All of our audit findings and recommendations, whether from internal audit or from external auditors, are tracked and periodically reported upon until resolved. So, stand for any questions. Okay, well, I'll turn it over to my colleagues, Trustee Hipsch and Vice Chancellor Mackey.
Thank you and welcome, gentlemen. Once you're situated, if you could just go ahead and introduce yourselves and then begin whenever you're ready. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon, members of the committee. I'm Tim Hipsch, Treasurer of the Minnesota State Board of Trustees and Chair of the Board's Finance and Facilities Committee. I live in Maple Grove, Minnesota, and grew up on a family farm just south of Mankato, and I'm a first-generation college student. My day job for over 20 years is as a technology leader at General Mills, where I currently lead IT diligence for our mergers and acquisitions, and am an alum of Minnesota State University Mankato. Before being appointed as a trustee in 2022, I had the opportunity to serve as chair of both the University Foundation and Alumni Association. The Finance and Facility Committee is charged with oversight of all system-wide financial, fiscal, facilities, and technology matters of the organization. The committee's oversight includes development of the system's biennial budget and capital budget requests. Each of these requests has 2 readings in front of the board before they are finalized, and based on policy and our expectation, the requests are brought forward after consultation with many different constituency groups and stakeholders. The committee will hear more details about this process in a future meeting from the Minnesota State leadership team when we present our fiscal year 2026-2027 request. The Finance and Facilities Committee also plays a large role in fulfilling the Board of Trustees' responsibility to safeguard the resources of the state of Minnesota, the system, the colleges and universities, and the constituencies that they serve, and to preserve the long-term viability of the colleges, universities, and system as a whole. Myself and 2 other trustees also serve on the Audit Committee, which provides increased visibility to our system compliance with legal and regulatory requirements. Examples of how the Finance and Facility Committee fulfills these responsibilities include administration of the system's capital asset program, which includes the approval of major capital projects, setting expectations for the maintenance of college and university facilities, and ensuring our college and university facilities needs align with long-term academic plans. Approval of all system office purchases and contracts that exceed $1 million, and all college and university purchases and contracts that exceed $3 million. Approval of the annual operating budget, including the system tuition and fee structure. Mr. Chair, with your permission, I would now like to turn the presentation over to Vice Chancellor Bill Mackey to provide further information related to Minnesota State's stewardship of its financial and physical resources.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Chair, members of the committee. My name is Bill Mackey, and I have served as the Vice Chancellor for Finance and Facilities for Minnesota State since 2019. One of my primary responsibilities is to serve as the administrative liaison to the Board of Trustees Finance and Facilities Committee. Trustee Hipsch mentioned the role this committee has related to system financial management assurance and resource stewardship. Our committee agenda at tomorrow's meeting illustrates how that plays out in our monthly agenda items, including the approval of a contract more than $1 million, a proposed amendment to our capital planning policy, and a review of the system's overall financial health and analysis of key college and university financial metrics. The slide in front of you indicates the primary duties and responsibilities of the Minnesota State Finance Division. My team and I work closely with our 26 colleges and 7 universities each fall to compile the necessary information to provide system-wide financial statements. We have continually improved our processes over this time with the positive working relationship we have with the Office of Internal Auditing and our external auditors. As Chief Audit Officer Jorgensen stated, we are pleased to have received clean financial statement audit reports over the past several years, and our single audits for the federal programs have also been very good. In a highly decentralized environment, our colleges and universities were able to successfully administer approximately $650 million of higher education emergency relief funds, or HERF funds, between 2020 and 2023, with the majority of the funds being distributed directly to our students. My team and I are also responsible for oversight of the system's procurement and contract management policies. Minnesota State's policy statement in these areas is clear, that we shall serve as a good steward of tuition funds, state appropriations, and other resources entrusted to us by Minnesotans and the students we serve. In that pursuit, system contracting and procurement practices and processes shall be transparent, fair, and consistent with the authorities afforded in state statute. We take considerable pride in our collaboration and alignment with our college and university colleagues, and continuously look at improvements and inefficiencies and internal controls. Mr. Chair, that concludes my remarks. With your permission, I'd like to turn the presentation over to President Mike Ryich.
Sure, before you leave, any questions? All right, thank you. Welcome, gentlemen. As soon as you are set, please introduce yourselves and you can begin. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair Duckworth, Chair Fateh. My name is Mike Ryich. I am serving as a president of Minnesota North College, which is in the northeast part of Minnesota. I'm a lifelong Iron Ranger, and I've been serving in the role as president since 2019, and I'd like to recognize Senator Farnsworth, who is from Hibbing and serves a good part of our region, so good to see him here.
Don't recognize him. Just kidding.
Just briefly cover 2 topics here. The first one is you heard our chancellor talk about our system and all the people seated here today. And from a presidential perspective, I just wanted to note that we serve our institutions largely autonomously. We are all independently accredited, and we are responsible for serving the region and community that we support. But the part of the system which is nice is that we get together basically on a monthly basis in an organization called Leadership Council, where all of the presidents come together with the chancellor in his cabinet to work together on system and state priorities. And we serve as an advisory council to the chancellor, who obviously works for the Board of Trustees. We share best practices, and we have the opportunity in many cases to work collaboratively on workforce initiatives and high school partnership concepts. And as an example, this morning we spent 2 hours discussing artificial intelligence and how that will affect education into the future and affect our students. We work together and set budget priorities and capital investment priorities. So the value of the system is that we are autonomous to do our work within our communities and the regions we serve, but yet work together on the betterment of the state. The second thing I wanted to talk about is just one example of how Minnesota North College responded to the need to be efficient and to best serve students. Prior to 2022, we were 5 independently accredited colleges that covered the communities of International Falls, Ely, Eveleth, Virginia, Hibbing, and Grand Rapids. We worked together somewhat through a shared president and a few shared services, but largely we were independent and we were separately accredited. The colleges themselves existed for 100+ years in many cases, and the structures that those colleges served under worked well during the times that they served. In 2018 and 19, there was a recognition that a change needed to be made to become more efficient and to better serve our students. And so we went through a 3-year process to merge those 5 independently accredited colleges into one. The realities of our area was one of the reasons. We have a challenging demographics, the aging demographic. We cover an area the size of basically Maryland, so we need to keep our campuses open to serve our population. We experienced 12 years of sustained enrollment decline, and that means less employees that were still duplicating services unnecessarily. The other part, or the other reason to merge that we considered was the opportunities it would provide for our stakeholders and our students. Working together under one umbrella would create seamless learning opportunities for students, a very cohesive enrollment management plan where we're working together and not against one another, and it would create a singular regional entity for our workforce, our business and industries to connect with. We are better positioned to partner with our universities to bring 4-year degrees with a larger population of students, and we can make mission-centric investments instead of spending money on perhaps inefficiencies. So in 2022, we became Minnesota North College, which was a 1-college, 6-campus, singly accredited system. We now have 1 registration, 1 transcript, 1 financial aid process, 1 billing for our students. We have 1 registration portal in which they can access all of our classes. We have a single administrative team that is very efficient instead of repetitive. We work out of 1 database, which saves our employees time and is more efficient. And we have a non-duplicative curriculum. We have niche programmings across our campuses, but we're not duplicating otherwise. The value of how we handled our merger, though, is we also left a few things alone. We said we're going to leave our athletic programs alone in our communities. Our 5 foundations exist still independently. Our niche programs exist independently on the campuses. And the communities we serve aren't feeling the change because our campuses remained open. Well, it's early. We're only into year 3 of the merger. Operationally, it appears to be working very well. We, for the first time since 2011, have experienced enrollment growth, albeit modest. It's the first time we've experienced 2 years actually in a row of enrollment growth. Our financial metrics have improved. The size of working together makes things more impressive. We have 5 foundations that gave out almost $1 million in scholarships last year. We have a grants office now that we never had before, and we are extremely successful in awarding over $7 million in external grants since becoming Minnesota North. We have university partners interested in working with us, an expanded academic offering, and our workforce training department, customized training, serves almost 10,000 individuals in a given year. And we're just more efficient, and we have made it easier for students. And when challenges do exist, we are able to tackle them together with more resources and tackle them regionally. With your permission, I would turn it over to my colleague, President Downs from Moorhead.
Good afternoon. Dr. Tim Downs, President of Minnesota State University Moorhead. This is my 2nd year in this capacity, serving the Minnesota State College and University system. Thank you for the opportunity to present, and thank you for your service to our great state. I'm proud to serve this institution. When we look at all institutions, what I'm talking about today is enrollment management. It's an important topic, and it's a very dynamic world that we live in. When you look at all campuses, when you do enrollment management, it also includes things like branding and marketing. When you do this, you look at what's the excellence of all the programs that you offer and the value of your degrees, and then you also have to talk about what's the student experience. And that's really critical to the students and how they think. One of the factors that's really important to look at is we're all part of a state system, but if we look at the system, we have regional footprints that we serve. And that's we're an asset within the region, and we're partners for not just providing education, we're workforce and economic development partners in our specific areas and regions. So enrollment management, when you look at it, the premises include doing things like targeting recruitments, and then once you get people's interests, you cultivate them, and then you get them to come to visit your campus, and then you confirm in their minds, hopefully, that you're the institution that's the best choice for what they're looking for and their vision for themselves in their next years of development. It's a real interesting process that changes every day. Next slide, please. Marketing, is this critical aspect of enrollment management. You want to do this branding process that says this is an institution and we're viable and we're worth consideration. And you also, when people come and visit your campus, which is one of the proverbial acts of pulling them into this funnel for enrollment management, you get their interest, but then the real issue is getting them to come visit and meet the people, meet the faculty, meet the staff, walk around and look at, this is where I'm going to spend the next several years. So with this, you have to do a lot of marketing. The successes in marketing are very important, where you're looking at how do we market and how do we grow all of our different facets of our enrollments. Obviously, when you look at enrollments, they're critical to our campus budgets and the campus sustainability. We're making extensive efforts to market and strategically recruit students. The enrollment management process is different for different sectors. So you think of undergraduate students, that's the primary thing that we think about as educators, but really it's undergraduate, graduate, transfer students, international students, as well as part-time students that are coming back to finish their 2-year, 4-year, or graduate degree or certificate. So each one of these markets has different strategies for enrollment management and marketing and branding. Next slide, please. We're thankful. The things that help us recruit students, one of the big factors for all of us is new or upgraded facilities. So we have to thank all the legislative bodies and for approving the renovation of Weld Hall. Just for your information, it'll be done and open in the fall of '26. It's one of the more signature buildings in the campus, and it's going to help us with our enrollment management, marketing, and recruiting. When you look at the marketing efforts, each campus is going to have notoriety for specific programs. So you focus on that with your marketing. And then you talk about what's the lived experience when you're going to be a student here. You're trying to get them to visualize being a student. And then you have to make sure that you stay and your programs stay and all the student experiences stay attractive and relevant to those students. The enrollment management marketing efforts that we're doing at Minnesota State Moorhead are working. We're turning that tide. Last year, we had 8% increase in new students in fall of '24, but that's just the start. It's a process of turning the boat. In fall of 2025, right now, we have an increase of admitted students from the previous year by 28%. So we're pretty excited about that, but we're selling things like the experience. We started out as a teacher education institution. Well, we're leaning into that heavier because there are things like teacher shortages. The last bullet here is enrollment management and marketing is targeted, and you have to be aggressive. So one of the things that we're doing is in the city of Moorhead, the Moorhead High School students have the opportunity to come to MSUM at a greater degree of solvency. In other words, we're going to underwrite their tuition. It is based on their ability to and their preferences for learning. They've shown that they're good learners. They have a 3.0 or higher. But we're doing this not just to increase the population. We're doing this intentionally because we want to make sure that the students stay in Moorhead, get a degree in Moorhead, and settle in Moorhead. So it's a workforce development initiative which helps our economy. Next slide, please. This slide shows some examples of excellence. And when you think of excellence, we have to use all these factors, and there's 20, 30, 50, 100 more that are used for storytelling. So our campus news students that got a national award for Television News Magazine. Our GO team started out as marketing and communications just for athletics. Well, they won a national award last year. Our students in the AACSB School of Business, they won the top 10 award for their business simulation interests. DECA is a collegiate international conference on business planning and responses. We had 9 students get top 10 in the world out of 1,200 students that competed. Our social work program is rated top 10 in the United States, our graduate program. And then we have a program called the GRIT program, which really focuses on student success, student retention, and outcomes. And this program was recognized within our system last year for an award. So we're really excited. So the last slide I have kind of gives an example of what I'm talking about. You have to brand the university. You have to show your colors. We're the dragons, so there's dragon scales. It has to be very clear and articulate. You have to talk about the attributes. So we talk about top-ranked education. You have to look at it as our strategy is come to Moorhead. Now, where this billboard is located is right in Fargo as you approach the bridge to come back into Minnesota. And that's not an accident, because we're trying to attract more and more students that maybe made a mistake and went to the west side of the Red River to come back. And we're actually bringing them back. And then the ones that are on the east side of the river, we don't want them to go over. But we're saying this, and this is one block from the bridge that leads into Moorhead. So we say just a bridge away. So it's hand-to-hand competition with enrollment management. We're all fighting for student enrollments, but I think the system is succeeding, and it's a real point of pride. So with that, I'll turn it over to Dr. Michael Seymour, President of Alexander Tech Community College.
Thank you, Chair Duckworth, Chair Fateh, Senators. I'm Michael Seymour, President of Alexandria Technical and Community College. I began my tenure in Minnesota higher ed in 1989, so that makes me either well-traveled or old. But during that time, I spent time in Austin, Minnesota at Riverland Technical Community College. I spent time 15 years at Anoka Ramsey Community College. I spent several years at Lake Superior College in Duluth, and now I've been in my current role for 6 years. Along with being laser focused on student success, these colleges all have something else in common, and that is either a leaky roof or a need for an updated HVAC system. So I'd like to put a plug in for our system's critical infrastructure request. Asset management, asset preservation is a good use of funds, in my opinion. And as my colleague mentioned, in the way of enrollment, management, having very nice facilities, again, where we keep people warm, dry, and safe is critical to those efforts. As Minnesota's largest peace officer training program, I often get asked about enrollments in these programs. Our enrollment declines following the events of 2020 at our college mirror essentially what happened across the system. We saw about 35% decline in enrollment. But the good news is that these past couple of years we're bouncing back to pre-pandemic levels. Another positive is that we've seen a sizable increase in donations for scholarships for law enforcement and nursing. And so our public sees the need and the importance of having a workforce in these areas. Lastly, I'd like to point out, in partnership with the Post Board, that Minnesota State produces 90% of the public safety officers in our state. With your permission, Mr. Chairs, I would like to turn it over to my colleague from Bemidji State University.
Sounds good. Thank you, gentlemen. Welcome. As soon as you are settled and ready, go right ahead.
Chair Duckworth, Chair Fateh, members of the committee. My name is John Hoffman, and I serve as the president of Bemidji State University and NTC, Bemidji's Technical College. It's my honor to champion our why, which is closely connected to the students that we serve in northern Minnesota. Approximately half of our students are first-generation college students, meaning that their parents do not have college degrees. 92% of our students rely on financial aid to attend the university. The vast majority of our students come from rural communities across northern Minnesota, and we have among the highest proportions of transfer and adult learners among greater Minnesota institutions in the state. A very special part of our who with our location is our work with American Indian students. We have the oldest Ojibwe language program in the country, one of the oldest Indigenous studies programs in the country, and a new Indigenous study program for all students the first of its type outside of Alaska and Hawaii in the United States. To put it into numbers, at Bemidji State, 9% of our students are American Indian. At NTC, it's 15%. Let me do it one other way. We serve collectively as our two institutions about 3.5% of the students within the Minnesota State colleges and universities. But we serve 23.5% of the American Indians who attend college in Minnesota State's colleges and universities. If we were a single institution, we're still verifying the numbers, but we think we'd be the largest provider. I will defer to my colleague to the left here, who you will hear from at Morris later today, who has the highest percentage of students, the honor of working with that group. Part of the way that we do this is through a unique partnership between BSU and NTC. It is a one-of-a-kind partnership in the state of Minnesota, 2-year, 4-year. So I get to work with students in trades programs and 2-year nursing programs, as well as 4-year degree programs and graduate programs. All together, one president. We share most of our administration, large numbers of staff. That saves us about $1.4 million annually, a critical part of our efficiency. And that's one of the things I was asked to speak about, is our work with efficiency, flexibility and responsiveness in recent times, and being stewards of the dollars that come to us from taxpayers, from students through tuition, or from donors. 2.5 years ago, when I arrived, following a significant loss of students during the pandemic, approximately a third of our students, we faced deficits of north of 20% of our total revenues, the largest proportionate deficits within the system. It's been 2 difficult years. We've reduced our workforce by more than 20%, but at the same time, we've grown enrollment. In fact, our enrollment growth is outpacing collectively the system as a whole. Our retention numbers are also improving. I will say that our folks are tired, but we are turning a corner with some help from the system. This year, we will end the year in the black. We've got more work to do moving forward, hard work to do to be able to sustain that work. But the request that is coming from Minnesota State in terms of institutional sustainment, support for our students and our workforce, those connections, institution to workforce, and then that critical infrastructure that President Seymour mentioned. Those are critical for us to be able to remain nimble and flexible and respond in a dynamic environment. I began noting that our why is tied to our who. I would be remiss if I did not mention the who behind our students, our faculty, and our staff. These are the folks who are exhausted today, perhaps burnt out a little bit, but they retain a spark in their eye to serve the students that we have an honor of serving in northern Minnesota. And so we do thank you in advance for the support that you provide for us and for our mission. And with that, Chair Duckworth and Chair Fateh, your permission, I will turn things over to one of our most important partners, my colleague Anita Hansen at Fond du Lac Tribal and Community College.
Sounds good, but before you begin, we do have one question.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you, President Hoffman. I just had a quick question. Does the university have a transfer partnership with any of the nearby tribal colleges?
Chair Fateh, Chair Duckworth, and members of the committee, yes. Bemidji State was first in Minnesota State to establish articulation agreements with each of our tribal colleges in the state. We have just worked this past fall through an intensive planning process to enhance transfer with both 2-year institutions across the north. That includes Mike Rich in Minnesota North, Central Lakes, Northland, et cetera, but also with our tribal colleges with some new efforts to expand those efforts. So thank you for your question.
Thank you. Ms. Hansen.
Thank you. Buju Nindinawe Maganidug. Anita Hansen, Indaje Gakenamigu. Gawa ba bakanikog nindinjaba. Nagachawanungabe gikandaso wigamig indanoki. Nimin Wayne Demin Oma Ayayung. Greetings, all my relatives. In this language, I am known as Anita Hansen. White Earth is where I am from. Fond du Lac Tribal and Community College is where I work, and I am happy to be here today. I will share that I grew up in Cass Lake, Minnesota on the Leech Lake Indian Reservation. Spent a lot of time at BSU and that area over the years. I have been at Fond du Lac Tribal and Community College since 1994 in different capacities. Most recently, I was hired as president in June of 2023. Chair Duckworth and Co-Chair Fate, and members of the Senate Committee on Higher Education, thank you for the opportunity to be here today. It is an honor to be invited to talk about the history of Fond du Lac Tribal and Community College, a truly special institution. I also sincerely thank Co-Chair Senator Rarick for his partnership and support of our institution. It was a pleasure to have you on campus in 2022 and again with Senator Fate in 2024. We hope that you can come back with other members of the committee sometime in the future. On behalf of the employees and students of Fond du Lac Tribal and Community College, I want to extend my heartfelt gratitude for legislative support from Minnesota State in fiscal years 24 and 25. The funding has significantly enhanced our ability to educate and serve our students. With the resources, we have upgraded equipment and learning environments and provided workforce scholarships and emergency grants to support our students who are experiencing many barriers. Furthermore, I am pleased to share that FDL-TCC has experienced a notable increase in on-campus student headcount and FYE for fall 24 and spring 25, and improvements to our fall to spring retention. We firmly believe the positive data are directly linked to the added financial support provided by the state, enabling us to better meet the needs of our students. FTL-TCC's mission, core values, and vision statement are guiding principles to us. They are not just words. They direct and give meaning to the work we do at our institution for students and with each other. The next few slides will illustrate key moments over our 35-year history. In early 1987, FDL-TCC was tribally chartered by the Fond du Lac Band of Lake Superior, Chippewa, and recognized by the Minnesota legislature that same year. Born from the vision of the Fond du Lac Reservation leaders and built through collaboration with community members and numerous state legislators, FDL-TCC is the nation's only tribal college established under federal law that operates as a community college within a state higher education system. In 1994, the Minnesota legislature codified our unique mission to serve the education needs of Carleton and southern St. Louis counties, and the education needs of American Indians throughout the state, especially in northern Minnesota. In 2003, we gained approval to offer a bachelor's degree, and in October of 2022, this became a reality with approval of our elementary education program designed to address Minnesota's shortage of American Indian teachers, currently less than 1% in the state. The program integrates education theory, practice, and assessment with Anishinaabe knowledge, values, and traditions while meeting Pellsby standards. In 2009, a memorandum of understanding was established defining the governing relationship between the Fond du Lac Tribal College Board of Directors and the Minnesota State Board of Trustees. Over time, the MOU has undergone a few revisions, the most recent in October of 2023. A recent highlight of our college came in February of 2024 when we earned Achieving the Dream's highest honor, the Leah Meyer Austin Award, for our campus-wide commitment to student success and our work to address achievement gaps among our student populations. What makes FDL-TCC unique? There are a number of other distinctive features that I don't have time to cover today, but this slide will list some of them. Next slide, please. Our on-campus enrollment over the past 5 years, as you can see, we are rebounding from the impacts of the pandemic. When fiscal year '25 ends, we foresee another increase in on-campus student headcount and FYE. The final data slide is basically just shows you the percentage of students we serve by race in the last fiscal year. I'd have to think about what you had to say earlier, President Hoffman. I'm like, we're not here to compete with you guys. But we know we serve a lot of American Indian students as well at our two-year institution, and that's important. Finally, this last photo captures why our employees come to work each day: to support our students to graduation. I would be remiss if I didn't share that FDL TCC addresses critical workforce needs in two of our larger programs, Criminal Justice Peace Officer and our associate degree in nursing. Thank you again for the opportunity to be here today. In the coming months, I hope each of you can find time in your busy schedules to come visit our beautiful campus. Mr. Chair, this concludes Minnesota State's testimony.
Thank you. I greatly appreciate it. Are there any closing remarks from anybody, or we good? I'll get to questions in just a second. I want to thank you all for being here. I know some of you traveled quite a ways to be here. We'll try to keep our questions quick and to the point so that you all have time to travel back and still get home at a decent time as well. We also do have another presentation after yours. So we're going to turn it over to questions, but if I forget, thank you all very much for making it a priority to be here today and visit with us. We greatly appreciate it. Senator Amover-Baton.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you all for your presentation. I'm all for a friendly competition on who has the most American Indian students. When we started off committee this year, we had some overviews from the Office of Higher Education, and to meet the attainment goals that we have for this state, like, we really have to make big increases there. So I was so excited to see what the enrollment numbers look like for you, particularly for American Indian students, and that it was up by 24% at Bemidji. That is so exciting. So I wanted to ask, just like, what are you doing that's increasing that enrollment? And specifically for like targeted populations, because again, when we look at our attainment goals, we're not meeting that for all students. When we start disaggregating by race and by other, characteristics, we're just not meeting it. We need to be more targeted in our approach. So I'd love if you could speak to that. One last thing I want to mention is that I'm a proud graduate of Roseville Area Schools. Every year we have a kickoff for our teachers to get excited for the school year, and our principal and our superintendent invited Dr. Troyer to be the keynote speaker and just did an amazing job. So I'm very much a fan. I hope I can make it to all of the schools in the system at some point, but would love to hear your thoughts on my question. Thank you.
All right, whoever thinks they can best address that, why don't you go ahead and take a shot?
So Chair Duckworth, Chair Fateh, and Senator Amover-Baton, thank you. So there has been a significant amount of intentionality over the past 2.5 years, and I was fortunate to come in at a time of momentum. Our faculty passed the Indigenous Studies course that all of our students are taking beginning this fall. That predated me and reflects the work of our faculty and the commitment of our institution. I would add that the elevation of Chrissy Downwind to Vice President for American Indian Student Success has been critical in building visibility, the symbolic importance for our campus, and also helping to build opportunities, connections, opening doors for me and for colleagues at the institution to build the connections with our tribal nation partners. Two other pieces that I think are really important to add to this. First, Minnesota State as a system has invested in the Nisidodating Institute at our campus. Nisidodating is an Ojibwe term meaning having mutual understanding. It is a core value for us as an institution, that element of mutuality in the work that we do with all of our students. But that investment in that institute, which works in partnership with our American Indian Resource Center, has provided additional service and outreach opportunities for us as we have worked with tribal nations. The last thing that I would say, the importance of tribal colleges cannot be overstated. I think it has been important for us as a point of emphasis is to communicate the value of tribal colleges, of students attending tribal colleges, investing in the deep indigenous ways of knowing, being, and doing, so that when they arrive at our campus, that mutuality is a process of learning from one another as we succeed together and build a workforce for the North. Thank you for your question.
Anyone else care to comment? Go right ahead.
Chair Duckworth, Co-Chair Fateh, Senator Umu Verbatim. I would just add our system-wide enrollment this past fall was up 8% in head count. It's up about 6 or 7%. You know, we're not at the 30-day numbers yet that are so important, but for this spring compared to last spring. And this happened in part because of the support you have all given us. Workforce scholarships, matching funds for equipment that are what our employers demand that our students are able to work on when they graduate. The various scholarships that you have supported in our system have contributed mightily to that and helped us recover from COVID, as you were hearing, and really turn it around for the first time in probably about a decade. So thank you so much for everything you've done to support higher education and make that possible. That is Minnesota's future workforce, right? Those 270,000 students that we're serving, that is the future of Minnesota. So thank you for supporting us in that way.
Very good, thank you. Any further questions?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Did you have anything you wanted to add? President Hansen, you're doing a great job as well.
Thank you. Yeah. Nothing really more to add. I think for us, our secret recipe is that we are a tribal and a community college. And the moment you step into our doors, you realize who we are and who we serve. And so I think that is one of our keys to recruitment. It also helps to have student housing as well, because we do draw from students from the Leech Lake area, White Earth area, northern parts of our counties as well. So we have done over the years a lot of work with our area high schools, those that serve a lot of American Indian students, our Fond du Lac Ojibwe School. We have those connections, those bridge programs that give those students an opportunity to be on our campus while they're in high school. Whether it be taking college-level courses as part of our Title III College Connect program, our bridge programming during the summertime, or lately we're going to move to bringing second and fourth graders to campus so that they can understand that this campus was built for them. And when they turn 18 and they realize they have a decision to make, that hopefully they choose our institution.
Good. Senator Putnam.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you to everyone who testified today. It was very edifying and efficient as well, and I appreciate both those things. And a special thank you to Chancellor Olson for bringing the entire system with you to testify today. I do have to say, though, that it makes me think that there might be some opportunities for shenanigans back in the state office because everyone's here. So if Senator Duckworth and I dip out for a second, we're just stealing Post-it notes. That's all we're just waiting for. But I do actually want to make a serious point briefly, if I may. Although, to a certain extent, President Hansen, you actually already answered what I was going to ask. And that's about collaboration. Collaboration is key, I think, to any success at any endeavor that you're going to engage in, especially one as complex and as important as Minnesota State and the education that it delivers. We talk a lot about workforce development, but workforce development is life development. It's not just a job, it's transformational. It's a path to the middle class and to all the opportunities that travel with it that wouldn't exist without Minnesota State, which is something else I'm very grateful of. When I thought about that with that last photo of your graduation, is what inspired me to think along those lines. And there's something that we did at St. Cloud Technical College recently. I think that President Cluse is here, or very small. There she is, she's over there. With the partnership with Delta Airlines and the state and the support of the Chancellor and the state office to do a program in airline mechanics, which is a phenomenal, really important need. And this program can only happen because of the support of the system, because of the excellence of President Cluse. And maybe we threw some money at it too, but it's really you guys who made it happen. And on that question of collaboration, I'm curious if there are system-wide other kinds of efforts like those that President Hansen was mentioning to involve our high schools and our middle schools and our elementary schools in building awareness of these kinds of opportunities like the airline mechanics program. Because these special programs that exist are not just great for the students who are there, they're a reason for a young person to want to go to college. So do we have efforts, or can someone share some of those efforts perhaps, for telling that, fifth grader, hey, go to college, you can do this thing?
Who would like to address that question?
Where did that come from?
Or not?
No, it was them. I'm like, there's a voice in this room. Where did that come from? I can't answer that. I would imagine, I'm pretty certain that most, if not all, of our institutions have a lot of collaborations taking place between the universities and the high schools and the two-year colleges and the high schools. I think one of the, whether we call it a collaboration or not, is just the concurrent enrollment programs that all of our institutions have, and the importance of allowing high school students to take college-level classes, because when they graduate, the likelihood of them ending up at any one of our institutions is far greater, Minnesota State. And so I think that's a huge one for many of us.
Yep, and then while you speak, it looks like someone wants to tag out here, so go right ahead.
Well, Chair Duckworth, Co-Chair Fateh, and Senator Putnam, we yesterday at our Leadership Council, so this was all the presidents and the Chancellor's Cabinet, had a lengthy and lively discussion about how we partner with K-12. And so this is absolutely top of mind for every one of our presidents. They think about this all the time. And when I look back, I saw that President Downs was itching to come up here and talk about what they're doing in Moorhead. So there's President Downs, from MSU Moorhead.
Thank you, Chancellor Olson. We have a program called Kids for College, and we bring kids, fourth grade, fifth grade, onto campus just so they can see themselves on a college campus. And I know if we did a survey, if we had time and talked to every one of the presidents and community colleges and universities, they do similar things. You bring students on for arts events, music events, athletic events, and every time you do, the intent from that enrollment management perspective is to get them to think about, might this be the place for you? If it's an arts event, you want them to meet the art faculty, go tour the arts facilities. So it's actually, to your point, getting in their minds, you too can do this, and then show them the steps to get there. Pay attention in school, graduate from high school, and then let's have that next conversation, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th grade.
Thank you. Anything further, Senator Putnam? Thank you. Senator Kupek.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and I don't necessarily have so much of a question as just a series of comments.
Well, I will allow it.
Thank you, I appreciate that. You have to understand when you're the third furthest senator away from the Capitol, your friends show up, you want to recognize your friends. So I'd like to take a second here to recognize some friends and talk about a couple of other things. First of all, I want to go back to Chair Soul. First of all, recognize the generous donations you have made in the past to Minnesota State University Moorhead and the impact that has had on students, and particularly Indigenous students at that university. So thank you for your leadership and your long commitment to this system. As President Downs was talking about, all of these schools, I think they are doing creative things to try to get more students, because all of these campuses, though, continue to run deficits within their budget. Despite the fact that many of them have made tremendous cuts within the faculty that are there. They've cut, in some cases, right down about as far as they can cut. They are doing creative things like, bringing in scholarships for high school students from Moorhead, keeping those kids in town, doing those things. President Brimhall from Minnesota State is back there too, which we share a campus with Senator Utke with. I have seen the way that she has partnered with local businesses, the Chamber of Commerce, saying, where do you need workers? We're going to go get those, particularly, working on training mechanics on tractors and things. Just an incredible partnership. All of those things that they are doing, and yet this system is still coming up a little bit short. And despite, I think to this committee's credit, I think the last 2 years, we've done some phenomenal work here and started maybe to reverse that trend because we're seeing those enrollments go up. But we are still nowhere near funding higher education at the percentage we were 25 years ago. We are just not there yet. And I think that is the key piece that is missing. So just wanted to put that out there and to thank everybody who's been here today and for all of the work. It has not always been easy. I know Bemidji, it's been a tough couple of years, but you're turning the corner. So I appreciate all the hard work that you've all done. So that is it. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Very good, thank you. Senator Rarick.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And I also don't have any questions, just a few comments. And I want to just start by commending Chancellor Olson. What we see here, when you introduced your presidents and your board, I've been in this issue area for about 4.5 years, but you've done such a great job at leading them and making them engage in the system. I recognize at least 90% of the faces that you have here, which has been fabulous. And, so it's not just the 2 campuses that are within my district, that it's been an absolute pleasure to work with them, and you make it easy to advocate for your schools. But it's that engagement, and it's been that openness. And I know it started with Chancellor Malhotra, that willingness to sit down with us, have the very hard conversations when there's something going wrong, that transparency. That's not something we see throughout this industry and the folks we deal with. So I just want to say that has been an absolute pleasure working with you, and it makes it very, very easy to advocate for the needs of your system because of that willingness to engage, willingness to invite us to your campuses and to your events. I'll say I think Trustee Erlinson was the only one more disappointed that the doors of the Black Hawk were closed on our flight than I was. So, it's those types of things, bringing us in and including us in those to build the relationships. That's been incredible, and so I want to, again, commend you for that.
Well, thank you. Any further questions? Again, thank you all for being here. Safe travels back to where you're heading. Don't be bashful about sneaking out if you have to. I will say this, it's very good to see enrollment bouncing back. That's fantastic news, and hopefully we see more of that to come. I was going to ask questions about our nurses, police, and teachers, but you covered that during your presentation. I will say I'm very impressed with how concise and quickly you got through everything. So well done. If your campuses are running as efficiently as you present, we're doing great. But last but not least, it's not lost on us, to Senator Kupek's point, that some mergers, some right sizing has had to occur. And it's tough and difficult work, but we appreciate it. The people of Minnesota appreciate the very difficult decisions you all have to make, the leadership you provide to our students and really to their families. So thank you for your good work. And please don't be bashful if you'd like to have additional conversations on how we can help you achieve what it is you're doing back in your communities. So thank you all.
Thank you.
So with that being said, we'll kind of let them head to where they're heading. And then if our next group wants to find their way up to the microphones, we'll get started in just a minute.
There you go. I didn't want to pull it out in the news group.
You're all good.
Well, you guys are looking for company.
I'm here. So I gotta go on this side. I'm trying to see which is better. Unless Charles and I just sit up here, then we don't have to move. In the middle. Let's put you guys in the middle. No, we're good. Charles, there you go.
I'm super excited. It's awesome.
And we won't move around as much, so, yeah.
All righty. Well, whoever is going to start us off, feel free to introduce yourself and get the ball rolling, and we'll just keep moving.
Thank you, and good afternoon, Co-Chairs Fate and Duckworth. My name is Melissa Lopez-Franson, and I represent the University of Minnesota in Government and Community Relations, and I'm glad to be here today to showcase a little bit about what the University of Minnesota means to the state and also what it is, right? And how complex our organization is. We're going to try to simplify it in just an hour, just under an hour. So as you hear from our speakers today, and we thank you for the opportunity, the University of Minnesota is here, there, and everywhere. We are proud of our 5 unique system campuses and extension programs that exist in our Minnesota communities. We literally have a footprint in every corner of the state and every county. We empower over 70,000 students from 87 counties, shaping the next generation of Minnesota leaders. We're proud that 63% of our 633,000 alumni stay in Minnesota and join our workforce and create their own businesses. The university is working tirelessly to prepare our future workforce, like training 70% of Minnesota's healthcare professionals. And on that note, you probably got a message from us just last week about our framework of a proposed bold solution to write the next chapter of healthcare for and to promote the health of all Minnesotans. With that announcement, we are proposing a formation of a new not-for-profit entity to address the most urgent needs of healthcare in the state in new ways for today and for the future. We build on the strengths of the University of Minnesota together with Essentia Health to lead and operate this new entity, serve the needs of the current and future patients, and help educate the next generation of health professionals. You will get more information as it becomes available, but I wanted to highlight that particular announcement given the workforce ask that we have in front of you this legislative session. I will also note that the University of Minnesota is a research powerhouse, and we support our students, and we serve the entire state and the country and the world. We will share more about the updates on our research portfolio with Vice President of Research and Innovation Office, Shashank Priya, later in the presentation. Together, we are driving Minnesota towards a healthier future, benefiting our people, our animals, our environment, and our economy and society. I want to turn it over to the rest of the presentation, but before I do, I got the clicker, but I'll figure out how to use that. One of our latest and greatest, this is fresh off the press, our economic impact report that we have just currently updated for the state, and this is just the top headers of the state of Minnesota. The economic impact that we have now updated turns out to be an estimated $11.5 billion for the state. And our total University of Minnesota jobs are 89,196. And our tax impact is $676 million. Our return on investment for the state is for every taxpayer dollars that you invest in the University of Minnesota, the return on investment is $16.75. You will learn more about this as we publicize that report. And with that, I will turn it to our chancellors to talk about their campuses and a little bit more of how unique they are in all corners of the state. Thank you.
Thank you. Senator Duckworth and Senator Fatah and members of the committee, thank you for the opportunity to be here today to speak about one of my favorite topics, the University of Minnesota Crookston. I'm Mary Holtz-Claus, and I am the chancellor for that Northwest District 1 located campus up in Northwest Minnesota, and I am starting my 8th winter there. So, as I said, it's an honor to speak with you today and talk with you about our Crookston campus, which has been really known for its innovation through the years. We were one of the first campuses in the United States to offer laptop computers to students and faculty, and one of the first in the region to offer asynchronous online learning. So we currently have 75 programs in our offering in our campus, and we offer 18 majors entirely online and have more than 1,000 students who take online classes from us. The most frequent area that they wish to study in is in the area of business. And I did want to make a comment of our increase of more than 1,000 students. This is actually in the past 3 years, and this was our highest ever. We've had an 18% growth in our online programs on our campus. The average age of our online student is 30 years of age. As I said, business is their most frequent discipline that they wish to study. And interestingly enough, although we have students from all over the world, 67% of our online students are from Minnesota. For our on-campus students, we have 36 majors and offer for our almost 700 students, hands-on exceptional learning. Our on-campus student population has seen an average of 7% increase in the last 3 years. And almost half of our students that are on campus study in the agricultural sciences. The equine science and animal science programs are particularly thriving, with a high percentage of graduates that are accepted into veterinary school. While we do teach theory, we also teach the hands-on learning and expose our students to practical field work right away in their programs. This makes us significantly different from other programs around the country, and we do have agriculture students from more than 30 states. All of our students do internships. That is a requirement and has been a requirement. So they're either doing a senior capstone or an internship. Senator Putnam, you had mentioned, are there areas that we collaborate? And I know you were maybe asking that question in regard to collaboration within the Minnesota state system, but I wanted to share with you a collaboration which is going in the agricultural field. So the College of Food and Agriculture and Natural Science, CFAN, here on the Twin Cities campus, our Crookston campus, and our colleagues at Minnesota State, whoever offers agricultural programs, we work together in promoting agricultural fields. And so we are catching those 5th and 6th graders and making them exposed to things that they didn't even know that there were fields in, such as, food science or the drone technologies that exist in agriculture. And so we are doing this, as I said, right now across the agricultural field, but looking at other ways across the Minnesota State and University of Minnesota system, where we're working together to make students aware, because as we all know, that early exposure can change the way that they see themselves and that opportunity going forward, what might exist there. So as many of you know, we have many annual activities and events, and we invite you to come to those. And our campus is rated generally every year the #1 residence halls in the state of Minnesota. And we are also a member of NCAA Division II athletics. In fact, recently, the University of Minnesota Crookston athletes received the President's Award for Academic Excellence. We were just one of 43 campuses out of the 313 in the NCAA. And like many of our Minnesota State colleagues, to say more than 50% of our students are first-generation students, as we said, is defined by their parents not going to college. We also have a very high percentage of adults returning to complete their degrees. Many of those are taking online, and have currently more than 100 military men and women who are taking classes from us. Additionally, the Crookston campus, along with all of our campuses on the University of Minnesota system, we're the only university system that has all of our 5 campuses that were designated by the Carnegie University for engagement. And then our campus on Crookston also recently received the Innovation Economic Prosperity designation, which is given by American Public Land-Grant Universities. Interesting thing about the diploma from the University of Minnesota, it does not distinguish which campus a person graduates from. So on every diploma, it says the University of Minnesota. And we were talking about what are maybe some of those elements that are important for recruiting students and getting them come here. We know that the University of Minnesota degree is very important for our Minnesota students and beyond. So one of the things that we're doing, which I think is maybe a testament to our success in growing enrollment recently, is we really market our uniqueness. We're the small rural campus, but with the big degree. So we call it the best of both worlds. And then I see he left, but we're also the home to the Roger D. Moe Library.
To be fair, it did turn into a bit of an academic conference out there, so.
So thank you. And now I'd like to turn it over to my colleague, the Chancellor of the University of Minnesota, Duluth.
Fantastic, thank you. And co-chairs and senators, I'm super honored to be able to be here to tell you a little bit about your University of Minnesota campus in Duluth. My name is Charles Neese. I've been in the role a whole 7 months now. I came back to Minnesota. I grew up and did my undergraduate work here in Minnesota. I've been traveling across the country for most of my career, but now back in Minnesota. And one of the things that excites me so much about my role, as well as what the campus is doing up in Duluth, is how we have really embraced that role that we are situated in that Duluth and that part of northern Minnesota region. And so one of the things that we're really proud of is how we have naturally integrated the campus experience into the surrounding areas. And that includes not only the research that our faculty are doing, but the outdoor experiences that our students engage in for their health and well-being, as well as our chancellor mentioned, the Carnegie classification for a community engaged scholar. That program also means that our students are doing volunteer work throughout the region and really engaged in that natural environment that is such an important part of who we are as an institution. And so we've really been able to integrate our research, that community engagement, our volunteer work, student recreation, well-being into the natural environment that is part of Duluth. And we're super excited about that. We also have that strong student-centered culture, and all of our campuses do. We're really focused on the success of our scholars. For us, it's really about providing them with the tools and the resources so they can successfully accomplish their academic, their career, and their personal goals. And really focused on providing those resources, those tools that help them to have that vibrant experience on our campus. It also includes giving them that vibrant undergraduate experience that includes nationally ranked D1 and D2 athletics, as well as really great residence hall experiences and internship opportunities, hands-on learning opportunities, and world-class research. We also have been working really closely with the region of Duluth as we think about that student experience and how to engage more students into that higher ed pathway. And so since I've started at the university, I've been partnering really closely with the College of St. Scholastica, Lake Superior Community College, and the Duluth Public School System to think about the Duluth Promise and an opportunity that we are engaged in to create those pathways to the career and workforce needs of our region as we work closely with industry partners to fill some of those really critical roles that they have, at the same time providing that world-class educational experience. And the way that the higher ed institutions in our region have really come together to provide that is something we're excited about. And the other big part of our program and our experience is that strong commitment to a spirit of discovery and inquiry. And it is a hallmark of the University of Minnesota Duluth. And it ranges from green steel research that we're doing in the Iron Range to impact on warming climate on sugar maples, the freshwater research that we're doing around not only local watersheds, but also globally, and how will there be enough fresh water to support our growing populations, as well as health technology as we develop robots that are being used to treat people with Alzheimer's and dementia. And creative discovery, incorporating art, music, and culture, working closely with our local tribal communities. The UMD research is not only contributing to our students' educational experience, but it's really helping to solve the complex issues that we are facing as a state, as a nation, and as a world. Your support of our campus has been critical through the financial aid that has provided access for more of our scholars to attend the institution, but also building renovation projects and showing up at Bulldog Athletics. All of that matters, and we're super excited and supportive of the work that you have been doing and look forward to sharing more with you about the accomplishments of the University of Minnesota Duluth. Now I'm going to squeeze out so my other colleagues can get this.
Thank you. Thank you very much. When you're situated, feel free to introduce yourselves and go ahead and begin.
Thank you, Chair Duckworth and Co-Chair Fateh. I am Janet Erickson. I am the Chancellor at the Morris campus, and I moved to Minnesota 26 years ago to Morris, in part because of the state's reputation for its support for education, including higher education. Connecting students to faculty, to each other, and to the broader community, and to enrichment opportunities that make a lifelong difference are core aspects of the University of Minnesota Morris undergraduate experience. And I want to start with a quick story about one of those students. Maggie Landwehr, who will graduate this spring from Morris, grew up in Gilbert, a town of about 1,700 in St. Louis County. Landra had saved for college, but she also earned a significant scholarship to attend UMN Morris, and that helped her do a bunch of other things, including study abroad. Last summer, she was one of 3 Morris students to participate in a Fulbright research project in Peru, where she collected data and ran data analysis concerning water quality. And she was super excited by the hands-on research experience. As she explains, quote, "This whole research experience in itself led me to think that this is what I want to do. I'm very much looking into research careers and more data collection." And she plans to stay in the state. Many of our students are attracted to Morris by the chance to be part of our sustainability work, which we do with a wide array of partnerships. We hosted, for instance, in December, a green ammonia summit that was organized by the Minnesota Farmers Union. Our agrivoltaics array, the largest of its kind in the upper Midwest, is showing farmers how they can diversify their income, how the shade of the raised solar panels both appeals to the cows and helps lower their body temperature when it's hot out, something that increases their milk production, as one of our alumni who works at the West Central Research and Outreach Center in Morris can explain. Such stories and such students are actually quite typical of the Morris campus. We serve a student body that includes students whose academic abilities would allow them to go to a private college or a large college, but who either don't see themselves as candidates for such institutions or can't afford them. The remarkable opportunities of the University of Minnesota are highly accessible at the Morris campus, and we offer the state's only public option for Division III athletics. 40% of the Morris student body are majoring in STEM fields. Psychology is our largest major, and the pathway we recently launched for students to become licensed alcohol and drug counselors was developed by our faculty as an effort to address the extreme shortage of such counseling across the state, especially in rural areas, and it was developed in partnership with the faculty and staff at Fond du Lac Tribal and Community College. 34% of our students are Native American, and we have formal pathway programs to Morris with Fond du Lac Tribal and Community College, as well as 3 other tribal colleges in the state. Just under 40% of Morris students come from low-income backgrounds. After financial aid, a Morris education carries an average cost that is one of the lowest, if not the lowest, in the state. To make college even more affordable and to recognize Minnesota's robust college in the schools and PSO options, we now also offer 3-year pathways for every one of our 32 majors. Excuse me. Setting students up for success, and including preparing them for research and careers and lives enriched with contributions to community, are core to the University of Minnesota Morris. And being part of the University of Minnesota system supports that in multiple practical ways, including pathways from Morris to other campuses for graduate and professional schools, such as our new 4+1 program with CFANs in applied economics, and our even newer occupational therapy doctorate pathway to the Twin Cities as well. The University of Minnesota Morris is small, but plays a crucial and outsized role in the university's land grant mission. And we change lives, as our social mobility ranking attests. Thank you for listening to our fabulous college story, and I encourage you to come to Morris. There's a lot to the west of the state, as my colleague Mary Holtz-Claus said. I will now pass it to Chancellor Carroll.
Good afternoon, co-chairs, members. Thank you for the opportunity to provide an overview of the Rochester campus. I'm Lori Carroll. I've been serving students in Rochester since 2014. And as the University of Minnesota campus located in America's City for Health, sometimes called the Med City, we have specialized in developing human potential for health careers since we launched in 2009. It's important for you to know we have 2 arenas of distinctiveness. First is our research focus, which leads us to educational innovation based on evidence, and our educational programs that produce graduates headed to health careers. In fact, 100% of UMR's undergraduate students have a passion to make a difference in the world through a career in health. More than 80% of our students are from Minnesota, and ultimately, most aspire to serve as healthcare professionals in Minnesota. One example is Dr. Hannah Elzen-Peter. She moved from her hometown of St. Joseph to Rochester to be in our first class of students, the Trailblazers. And she continued on to medical school and is now serving OB and primary care patients in Crosby. They need her. And she, in her own words, is truly living her dream. UMR is serving students like Hannah with our innovative approach to education, enhanced by the partnerships we have in Rochester and across the university. In the university's new health sciences strategic plan, we identified a shared goal: access to exceptional care for all Minnesotans. The needs are dire in so many Minnesota counties, and the University of Minnesota is uniquely equipped to address these heartbreaking needs with our 6 health sciences professional schools and our Rochester campus. UMR's undergraduate health programs move young people from a childhood dream where they want to help people, and most of them are motivated because a family member has experienced a challenge in health. And we move them toward readiness for advanced study and health career launch. Our student body is a beautiful mix of backgrounds from the state of Minnesota. 2/3 of our students are underrepresented. Our faculty have carefully crafted the curriculum to support these students as they progress from a general aspiration to the discernment of a more specific health career pathway in one of 6 areas of focus: pre-med and patient care, public health, healthcare business and leadership, health technology, psychology and mental health, and research, discovery, and cures. Many students experience a health career dream shift during their 2nd year, sometimes after organic chemistry class. And importantly, given the structure of our curriculum, that shift does not slow their progress toward graduation. In fact, last year, 20% of our graduates completed their baccalaureate degree in 3 years. The flexible final year capstone serves strategically as a transition to advanced study or career launch. With academic partners, we have structured several Get Forward Faster options that leverage the flexible final year, reducing the overall cost for students and getting them out sooner to serve Minnesota communities. Our first accelerated program, designed to lower cost and increase student success, served as a model for a national consortium of campuses now called College in 3 Exchange. We'll be hosting that convening in June. Morris is part of it. And I had the pleasure of traveling to DC to share that UMR model with the House Committee on Education and Workforce. With the opportunity of a blank canvas that starting a new campus provided, we chose to provide practices that fuel success for all students: undergraduate research, community engagement, active learning, success coaches, living learning communities, health career relevancy in all courses, work-based learning, and more. Our place also matters. The downtown region of America's City for Health is a dream location for students aspiring to careers in health. Every UMR space is leased and in walkable proximity to opportunity for health career development, mentors, work study, internships, and more. Our facilities are unusual in that we have worked with partners, most recently to remodel a DoubleTree hotel into a student life center. Again, we're working to reduce costs for students while improving outcomes. And with an expanded life sciences ecosystem in Discovery Square in downtown Rochester, organizations like Philips, Epic, Google, Nucleus, Rion, and others have lab facilities in the same space as our lab classrooms. This location advantage is not just for today's students, but also for future students and needed discoveries, as the vibrant life sciences ecosystem provides numerous important opportunities for the university to continue our growth in Rochester. We're designing new programs with our industry partners in digital health and mental health, and expanding our facilities over the next 3 years to accommodate 1,500 students being prepared for health careers. At UMR, students are at the center. Research informs practice, as we are a living laboratory with our faculty all doing their research on student learning and development and putting those practices in place and closing the achievement gap. And finally, our partners have made it possible and you are among those partners. I invite you to campus. I'd love to show you around and have you meet some of our students. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We'll go ahead and allow you to swap out here. When you're situated and ready, go ahead and introduce yourselves and please begin.
Good afternoon, Chair and committee members. I'm Calvin Phillips, Vice President of Student Affairs, and I'm happy to have the opportunity to tell you about the University of Minnesota Twin Cities campus. The Twin Cities is our flagship campus and been around longer than Minnesota has been a state. We were established in 1881 and one of 5 university campuses in the nation with schools of engineering, medicine, veterinary medicine, law, and agriculture, all in one campus. The campus stretches across more than 1,150 acres in Minneapolis and St. Paul and houses more than 350 buildings where our students, staff learn, live, research, and interact. This year, the Twin Cities campus saw its highest enrollment with nearly 57,000 students, including the largest freshman class since 1965. To put this in perspective, our total number of students is more than the entire population of the city of Apple Valley. In addition to our robust student population, there are 25,640 employees that work at the Twin Cities campus. Our people are truly our greatest asset, and the university could not operate without them. They educate and support our students, maintain our historical buildings and grounds, keep our residence hall warm and clean, research new and innovative healthcare solutions, and so much more. Our students' college experience are enhanced by our urban campus located in the heart of the Twin Cities. They have access to a thriving art and theater communities, and are just a light rail ride away from attending a professional sports game. The University of Minnesota Twin Cities students have the opportunity to intern and eventually work at many of the Fortune 500 companies, technology startups, nonprofit organizations, and small businesses based right here in the Twin Cities. The university presence brings value to the Twin Cities as well. We have farms in the middle of the capital city doing valuable agriculture and veterinary science research. The Wiseman Arts Museum, designed by a well-known architect, Frank Gehry, houses a collection of modern art that is open and free to the public. The St. Anthony Fall Laboratory, built into the banks of the Mississippi. It is an interdisciplinary fluid mechanics research center where researchers tackle issues like the impact of climate on our lakes. The Twin Cities and the University of Minnesota are truly have a unique partnership to which we make each other stronger and healthier. Thank you for allowing me to tell you a little bit about the Twin Cities campuses. Now I want to broaden the focus to tell you about our students and experiences they receive across our entire system at Crookston, Duluth, Morris, Rochester, and the Twin City campuses. Our goal is to support students' education, development, and success. We prepare them for a life after graduate so they can have fulfilling careers and make valued contributions locally, across the state, in the world. This fall, the university welcomed more than 70,000 students system-wide for the first time. We work hard to ensure that each and every one of those students is equipped with the tools and the resources they need for personal and career success. In the classroom, students study and learn from outstanding faculty and teachers in dynamic physical and virtual spaces. We prepare students to be leaders professionally in their communities by teaching them how to think critically, explore important issues, and tackle big ideas. We teach them how to be curious, learn from each other, how to give back to the people and the places around them. While a lot of the learning development happens in the classrooms, students are engaged in important activities outside of the classroom. All of our campuses offer co-curricular activities. There are student organizations, recreational offerings, and on-campus employment opportunities, just to name a few. Research shows that students who engage in co-curricular activities are more likely to have a sense of belonging, as well as higher GPAs and degree completion rates. In addition to activities, our campus provide health and well-being programs and services to ensure that students are physically and mentally healthy and have access to food and housing. To prepare them for life after graduation, We connect student employers across the state for internship and real-world experience. This ensures that every University of Minnesota student is equipped for the complex work world, which benefits our state, employers, and the students themselves. One recent graduate said, "Receiving an engineering degree from the University of Minnesota is extremely valuable for my future." I'm really interested in the future of technology in the medical field, and I hope to be a part of the improvement and innovation of that technology. System-wide, more than 92% of graduated students are employed or continuing their education, and nearly 3 out of 4 employed alumni work for a company or organization located in Minnesota. It's clear that our students and the education they receive at the University of Minnesota has a positive impact in our state. I'm going to turn it over.
Thank you very much, Calvin. I'm Shashank Priya. I'm the Vice President for Research and Innovation at the university. And so Chair Duckworth and Chair Fateh and members of the committee, thank you for the opportunity to talk to
Former
you.
senators all over the microphone up there.
Yep. So I will talk to you about the research enterprise at the university. University is one of the top 10 research institution, U.S. public research institution in the world, according to the ARWU ranking, which is the most followed ranking in the world. We are also ranked 12th in the U.S. public institution in the country in terms of research expenditure. So expenditure would be the real dollars that we spend each year in the research. And this input of about $1.32 billion each year allows us to do many things. And I'll describe to you a few highlights from what this enables us to accomplish here. And I would like to point out that we compete for this money nationally and win. So our faculty are really high quality with respect to whatever the fields and disciplines they are working in order to accomplish the success. One of the outputs from our research is technology translation. We are the largest creator of startup companies in the state of Minnesota. Last year, we created 25 companies. Since 2006, we have created 275 companies in state of Minnesota. 70% of them are housed here. 70% of them are 10 years or more. One of the most successful programs in the country cited for technology commercialization. We have over 1,000 patents which are being licensed by companies in the state and otherwise, and we create about $20 million revenue each year from licensing and patenting. We are ranked very high in terms of number of disclosures, numbers of patents issued, and we were ranked number 1 in Heartland survey in terms of commercialization activities. Now, this entrepreneurialism drives a lot of creativity in our students. And it also allows them to explore many things which probably normally students will not explore. For example, working on very high-tech equipments, working in the labs on projects which are creating new knowledge and discoveries. And that's what drives the headquarter economy in Minnesota, because companies such as 3M and Solventum and Medtronic and Boston Scientific, they rely on the talent that we produce in order to be at the leading edge in whatever they are doing. We graduate about 15,000 graduates, and many of them get employed in the state of Minnesota by these companies. 48% or more of our undergrads over their 4 years will participate in these research projects funded by federal agencies or big corporations or nonprofit foundations who come and interact with the students on a daily basis and give them advice on how to build career in different kinds of science and technology areas. There are 2 examples on this slide which I want to describe to you just to show how we impact the life of Minnesotans on a daily basis. The first one of them is the CTSI Institute, Clinical and Translational Science Institute. This is about $58 million grant from NIH in order to translate the clinical findings from the lab into therapeutics and treatments that can be used by the society. And so, as all of you know, the clinical trials are many-step process and expensive process, and there are many gates that people have to pass through. And this technology allows our faculty to start accomplishing the goals that are set by FDA and other bodies in order to accomplish the goals. This is a great program for Minnesota because it allows us to bring innovations, not only from state, but also from our partner institutions to come and team up with us and conduct their trial in the state of Minnesota. The second example is a program called Forever Green Initiative, run at our St. Paul campus. And this program has been innovating crops for last many years. Their recent breakthrough was camelina crop, which is being used for designing the sustainable aviation fuel. And I think you heard about the story that Delta Airlines flew a flight from MSP Airport to New York using the camelina that was grown in the state of Minnesota. And that research was started at the Forever Green Initiative at the St. Paul campus. But they have designed over dozens of crops over the years. Many of them are used for foods, for textiles, for various kinds of plastic materials, etc. And this is allowing farmers to create new incomes, like pennycress crop, which is a cover crop. Basically, you can grow in between the seasons and allow basically more income to be generated from the same field. Many companies such as Cargill, Hormel, General Mills, they're all partnered in these initiatives. And this is, again, providing new ways to create more products. We all know in Minnesota's economy, $106 billion comes from the agricultural field. 51% of our land is dedicated to agriculture. And we have to improve and enhance the productivity. Even the recent advancements like artificial intelligence and machine learning, they're including these advances in order to design engineered crops that will allow us to create more production from the same ground. So we're very proud of the accomplishments that they have. Lastly, I know I've limited time, so I'll stop. At the last, on the bottom is something called Innovation Minnesota, and I would like to mention to you, committee members, this is a group of 17 CTOs, many of them from Fortune 500 companies, but also from our small and mid-sized companies. And these CTOs sit together every quarter and just think about how to make Minnesota more competitive. How can we make us be the target for all the skills and talents nationally and migrate businesses from all over the country to come here and stay here? And they, every year, come up with some ideas, and two of the ideas that they really feel are going to make a big impact on the state is, one, creating AI hub. An AI hub for upscaling the workforce, AI hub that allows us to create more workforce from 4-year degree programs, and also for creating tools that can be utilized by employees on a daily basis in all our jobs. And second is about the industry-university partnerships through an industrial park. They feel that will allow us to incubate new ideas from all over the state of Minnesota through a program that will nurture the good creative ideas to stay here instead of migrating out of the state. So with that, I'll stop here. I just want to mention that I'm very proud of our accomplishments. We grow at about 8 to 10% rate each year. At this level is a very, very hard task, and very few universities in the country can match that kind of growth rate. So thank you very much for the opportunity.
No, thank you. And I thought we were doing great until I flipped over the agenda. I'm just kidding. So come on up. If I do some quick math, though, I apologize. Sometimes when you go toward the end, we do ask you to speed up a little bit. If my math is correct, if you could all, the few remaining, keep it to about 2 minutes, then we should still have an opportunity for some folks to get some questions in before we have to wrap up by 5. So whenever you're ready, thank you.
Mr. Chair, we will be efficient. Greetings to Mr. Chair and the committee. Thank you for the opportunity to speak today about the vital role of the University of Minnesota's health sciences schools and the role that they play in shaping health and the well-being of our state. For the record, my name is Connie Hoyt Delaney. I have served as Dean and Professor in the School of Nursing since 2005 and was a member of the Governor's Task Force on Academic Health at the University of Minnesota. As one of the nation's leading institutions in health sciences education, research, and clinical care, the University of Minnesota is not just an academic powerhouse. It is a cornerstone of Minnesota's health infrastructure. Its 6 health sciences schools, including medicine, nursing, pharmacy, dentistry, public health, and veterinary medicine are interwoven within nearly every facet of healthcare delivery and innovation across the state. Each year, these schools educate thousands of students who become Minnesota's physicians, nurse practitioners, nurses, pharmacists, dentists, and other critical healthcare professionals. Over 70% stay in Minnesota after graduation. They serve our urban centers, rural communities, and underserved areas, ensuring that all Minnesotans have access to quality care. Beyond workforce development, the University of Minnesota is a leader in cutting-edge research, which you have heard. From groundbreaking therapies to combat cancer, diabetes, rare diseases, to advancements in mental health and community-based care, these efforts drive innovation. It's innovation that saves lives as well as boosts our economy. Over $1 billion, $1 billion with a B, dollars in annual research expenditures not only fuel the discovery, they also create high-paying jobs and attract federal funding to our state. In health sciences schools, we also are key partners in addressing Minnesota's most pressing public health challenges, from combating opioid addiction to addressing health disparities. Through collaboration with hospitals, clinics, and community organizations, the university extends its impact beyond the Twin City campus. We extend it to every corner of the state. In addition to working with external stakeholders to improve the health of Minnesota, the health science schools partner with other disciplines within the university system. These include, as example, science, engineering, public affairs, business, and agriculture. These partnerships are used to develop new approaches and solutions that fulfill our shared mission. One might ask, what makes us different? What makes us unique? The University of Minnesota is particularly unique nationally because our health sciences schools and programs cover all aspects of training and healthcare. In my field, for example, nursing, we are the state's largest producer of doctorally prepared nurses, nurse practitioners, and nursing faculty, all of whom are absolutely critically necessary for us to address the dire shortage of nurses we face. And in fact, we're the largest producer of doctorally prepared Native American nurses in the nation. Minnesota was recently named the healthiest state in the country. I believe that is, at least in high part, because the University of Minnesota's well-recognized excellence in so many areas of the health sciences exists.
Mr. Laney, you're doing great. You hit a lot of high points, and I apologize. I'm going to have to ask you to try to finish up sooner rather than later.
45 seconds.
Very good. Better if it's 30. No, just kidding. Go ahead.
Yes, it is. Through the university's new health sciences strategic plan, these nationally and internationally recognized schools and programs stand poised to further address the critical healthcare challenges facing Minnesota. I truly believe that through collaboration, as many of you have cited, dedication, and a shared commitment to health and your support, that the University of Minnesota will help this state continue to lead the nation in health. And finally, simply put, Minnesota's health and the health of our people is at the center of everything we do in the health sciences at the University of Minnesota. We are indispensable to this state. We are an asset. We are shaping the future of healthcare, training the next generation of leaders, and providing solutions to the challenges that matter most to Minnesotans. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Bev Durgan, Dean of University of Minnesota Extension, and thank you again, Chair Duckworth and Fatah, for having me here today. Since 1909, University of Minnesota Extension has connected communities across Minnesota with the University of Minnesota's research and resources. As part of the university's land-grant mission, Extension is nationally recognized for its innovative approach to research, extension, education, and community engagement. As you can see from the map on the slide, is that Extension's programs are delivered through an integrated system of state, regional, and county offices, with 15 regional offices, 87 county offices, and outreach centers across the state. Extension ensures that the University of Minnesota is accessible in every corner of Minnesota. Extension also has joint extension research faculty with 5 colleges on the Twin Cities campus and with University of Minnesota Crookston. We also, as we're talking about partnerships, we also have 7 joint faculty positions with North Dakota State University to better serve the agricultural industry in Northwest Minnesota. And we also have a joint program with University of Wisconsin Extension in rural entrepreneurship. More than 65% of Extension's faculty, educators, and community-based staff live and work in Greater Minnesota. This statewide presence helps Extension meet the needs of Minnesotans while fostering direct communication between communities and the university. As many of you know, are familiar with Extension, know that we have a number of programs throughout the state, and our programs focus on strengthening our food and agricultural systems, creating healthier families, protecting our natural resources, and strengthening our community's leadership and economic development. So just a little bit about the impact of those programs. Annually, over 1 million Minnesotans are directly impacted by our programs by attending a program either in person or online. Over 50,000 youth are involved in our 4-H programs or our other youth programs throughout the state yearly. Annually, Extension's website receives over 8 million views, which is one of the highest of any websites of extension systems in the U.S. Extension also has a network of over 30,000 volunteers that help us deliver programs throughout the state. So in summary, and our values within our strategic plan, Extension strives to build meaningful relationships with individuals, families, communities, and stakeholders throughout Minnesota. These relationships, grounded in mutual trust and understanding, empower Minnesotans to create positive change throughout the state. Thank you again for letting me be here. I hope I made it on time.
You get a star. Thank you so much.
That's Extension, right?
Very good, very good. I will not extend you any more time, however. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Gentlemen, welcome. Whenever you're ready, go ahead and begin.
Putting a faculty member in front of a microphone and giving him 2 minutes is cruel and unusual punishment. I'll just start with that. Chair Duckworth, Co-Chair Fateh, members of the committee, thank you for this opportunity. My name is Mark B. I'm a professor in the College of Biological Sciences on the Twin Cities campus. My research program investigates hearing and vocal communication in frogs. I'm the most recent chair of the executive committee of the Faculty Senate, and I'm here today in my role, it's kind of a unique role, as one of the University of Minnesota's 2 faculty legislative liaisons. This is Rob Blair, he's the second one. In this position, we're appointed by the president to be a direct line of communication between the 5,000 faculty spread across all 5 system campuses and you, the legislator. And so you will be hearing from us this session. We look forward to reaching out and engaging with you and hope to meet you and your staff. And I'll keep it to the elevator version. And before I turn it over to my colleague, I just want to acknowledge Regent Mary Turner, who's here from the University of Minnesota. She is turning out to be a fantastic supporter of faculty and employees at the university. So thank you to the legislature for her.
Chair Duckworth, Chair Fateh. My name is Robert Blair. I am in, I don't know if it's my day job or my night job, the department head of Fisheries, Wildlife, and Conservation Biology on the St. Paul campus. And I'm also one of the 2 faculty legislative liaisons. I just want to say we can find somebody who knows something about something you want to know. That is our job. And so if you're worried about avian flu, I can connect you to people who know how it gets into barns. I can connect you to people who know how it mutates in humans. I could connect you to people who know how best to train biosecurity protocols at the Jenny-O Turkey Barn. If I don't know it, I have friends in all of the campuses, and I can do the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon and finally find someone who knows something that you might want to know. So we're here to serve as a conduit of information. Our offer is to give you information, and then sometimes we'll have some of our own opinions. We are the faculty. We're a little bit different than government relations, but that's who we are. Thank you.
No, thank you, and I feel like I want to accept that challenge.
Yeah.
Any other testifiers or any other final remarks?
Thank you, Chair, Co-Chairs Fatah and Duckworth, and members. I really appreciate the time and your patience. I know we didn't get to questions, but we're open to scrutiny. That is why we're here, we're present, and we as a university have been more bold and more present than ever before. So I know some of these conversations might be tough and something you might hear in the news, but we welcome the conversation, and we are working really closely with your staff to get you the answers. And these are just a few of the remarkable people that work for you, for the university, for the state, for this public entity that we call University of Minnesota. So thank you for your time. And then I want to also say Regent Farnsworth was here too, so he had to step away. But thank you for also acknowledging that he was here. Thank you.
Sounds good. Appreciate it. Right on time. Thank you. Members, unless there's a burning question, I plan to adjourn. And if you want to get up and ask it afterward, I think that might be appropriate as well. So anybody? All right. I think we're good. Thank you all for being here. Safe travels back home. We are adjourned.